Let's get Shogun. All my resource pages are up. Everything looks like it's going good. Alright, let's see. This is a guy that's been hanging out in the system for a while. So he is mildly irrelevant. Let's get the gotta chat up on the off chance that there are questions. Alright. Pirate invasion. I don't want to. Next mission. Massive attack. Hey. Attack of the drones. Oh. Atomic teams. Here we go. Yeah. Got a burner set up for atomic teams. Should probably double check the what ship I'm supposed to hit. Where are we killing him? The Vengeance. It's Nova. Nova on both fronts. Oof. I'm almost out of ammo. I'm almost out of so much different ammo. I mean, I need to head back to Jita at some point and buy a bunch of fresh ammo. Orbit. Where's the orbit set up? Yeah. I think. Alright. This would be a nice, easy payday on this one. So in theory, it's 5 million ISK, and we'll port Fuzzworks real quick. See what LP is going for right now. $1,700 a piece for what I sell. So that's 1,700 plus, or 1,700 times 8,000. Times 8,000. That'll be about 13. So this mission is going to be worth about 20 million ISK at the end of the day. Ozone. Boom, 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 boom. Alright. orbit going. What's my range at? 25? Think I'm okay? Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. As I chew through there, our shield's perfectly quick, but it's gonna be the armor that's gonna be the pain in the ass. Nope. Didn't even notice I ran out of range. Back in range. Oh, I cannot wait till I can get a noble. That'll be much better. Tell me what, 850. So about 550 before I can buy it all. Because the Unified Nurgle Fit is 1.3 billion for everything. Then it's literally warp into sight. Just murder. Murder all the things. Come on. This is such a slow process, Jesus. Am I not able to slowly breaking this tank? Yeah, it's just really slow going. All it takes is one run. You get the first one down, the other one doesn't get any reps, and it melts even faster. Yeah, I've burned through 70 of 150 rounds. Boom, 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 dun, 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 dun. Come on. It's a bleeding hole. Reps have him stabilized. Trying to stabilize him, I should say. He's not fully stable. There we go. That would work. Can't do that. Yeah, I have to reload ammo here. That should give me a little bit more increased range. Yeah, it gives me a little bit more range. So in theory, we kill his vengeance, then we can turn down a bunch of other missions, get some more burners. I want Angel Burner and Angel Base along with teams. Nova Ridge. Let's give it 22 kilometers. I'm right about 21. Apparently Nova Rage is not wanting to hit for more than 40 a pop. Hey, just yeah, this is a level 4. This is an Anomic Teams. Right now I'm flying a Garmer for this. It is arguably one of the easier ships to get into for this. Where's my pop out? So it's running. I always forget how to do this. Copy clipper. There. So let me pull up the fit here for it. So it's running 3 polarized rocket launchers, the 2 guidance computers, the 3 Caldari Navy ballistic controls, and then it's running warhead flare catalyst, rocket fuel partition, thrusters. The fit is, this is the expensive version of the fit. It's like 350 million. It is great for doing anomic teams, but it cannot do like the anomic agents, which are the pirate burners. It does really well. Jaguar has a 1% chance to hit you, in which case it will drop you to, if you're skilled up properly, it'll drop you to like 10% structure, and then you just gotta get out. But it's a 1% chance of it hitting you for that if you orbit properly. So for everything except for the Jaguar, I orbit at 20 and I orbit the burner. I tend to kill the Logi and then kill the burner. Just makes my life easier. It's a long process no matter what. Ideally, I want to use a Nurgle for this, but the unified Nurgle fit is like 1.3 billion. And I just don't have that at the moment. For other level 4 missions, I use a Paladin, or if things are a little sketchy, a Praxis. I'm in the wrong kind of space to be doing a Paladin, because you really should be in like a Mars space against Sancha or Blood Raiders, so you can gain the benefit of EM against them. A Vargur is kind of the other ship that I'm building too, and I kind of decide what I'm going to spend my money on once I get there. The Golem is the other like ship that I want to do with level 4s, but I have this love-hate relationship with missiles, so it's the flight time just always bugs me. And specifically for Jusino, to answer your thing, you use frigates for anomic teams, the anomic team level 4 missions. You can only use a frigate to enter these sites. They are very strict on anomic teams. Anomic burners are frigate only. Anomic bases are cruiser and smaller only, I believe. And then otherwise I just use my Paladin. The Golem is back to the Golem. The Golem is great for, so, and I'll touch on that here in a second. Just, the Golem is great. I just have a love-hate relationship with missiles. I currently am in a hate mode. I will swing back to loving them. I want to get a Marauder. I want to get each Marauder for doing missions. So, no, these are level 4 security missions. So, let me pull up the mission here. So when you do level 4s, every now and then you get the anomic teams. These are burner missions. So these missions pay out more. I do mine in a 0.7 system, 0.8 system, I think is my home system. Just because the only 0.5 for federal administration that was near me when I started was like surrounded by low sec, and I didn't want to continually dive into low sec. Oh, nice. Yeah, level 5s, I really want to get into level 5s, but at the same time I don't, but that means I've got to move a bunch of stuff to prep for it. There's one guy who I talked to who does level 5s, and he does 3 praxises, just doing 3 missions at once all the time. Level 4 security missions, though, I'm fine with it. Like, it makes me the money that I need to make. My PI makes money to subsidize it. Alright. Yay! There's, 3 million in the bank from the rewards. The burner is going to pay a 5 million bounty, and then 8,800 loyalty points at 1,700 ISK per loyalty point is the current conversion rate. which is about 15 million. So that's a 22 million mission in about 3 minutes. Yeah, I want to, like, I do stupid things. I would do, turn that down a little bit. I would do level 4s in a Dreadnought if they weren't so damn expensive in, like, low sec. I took a break, and in that brief break that I took, Dreadnoughts went from 1.4 billion to 4 billion. So I'm like, oh, cool. I love Dreadnoughts. I know they're not good. I admit that they're not good. But they're fun to me. So like this here, just so you know, is another burner mission. So if I had the cruiser for this one... Jesus Christ, that's terrifying. So this is a Serpentis burner. I don't have the ship for doing a Serpentis burner. The one that I would need for it, I believe, is the Enyo. I have to go back and double check. Or, if I had the money for it, this is a burner Serpentis, or it would be this fit for a Nurgle. Oh my god. So, yeah, I used to live in Nullsec for a while. So to hear, like, that Null manufacturing of capitals has gone completely out of whack, I'm glad I don't live there anymore. Alright, so we decline this guy because we can. We request another mission. Smash the supplier. No. See if that knocks me down. No. So I've recently just got my faction standings. Oh my god. Yeah, so I was in test about 2 years ago, and I bought my Revelation. I built my own Revelation for about 900 million. I built my own Thanatos for like 600 million. I was building 2 carriers and a Dreadnought a week there for a while. It was great times. It was fun. So I recently just hit, because I moved back to high sec and I haven't done mission running for a long time, so now I'm doing it. I recently got my Gallente faction standings above 5.0, so now I can literally just like, yes, I want to do this. No, I don't want to do this. Yes, I want to do this. No, I don't want to do this. So like, so my standings don't drop below 5.1. This is another Gnomonic agent. This is the Serpentis burner. You don't take a penalty when you do turn down burner missions because they're risky. So just, you know, what ended up happening was, I want to say 7 or 8 months ago, they changed the manufacturing process. And this is just a small part. This isn't the whole thing. I'll go into the whole thing here in a second. This is the most recent thing that will affect you if you live in, like, high sec. Battleships. Let's go open up this blueprint here. Battleships used to not require these. These are brand new products that need to get to the market at some point. But they have to be player made. Well, it takes time to get all of these made. So, for example, I actually have an auto integrity preservation seal blueprint. It's researching down here. I'm not going to say they fucked up manufacturing side. I actually really like this. I really like needing PI for bigger ships. I think that's cool. I think what they did in Nullsec was very heavy-handed with the ore restrictions. That's the other thing, is they changed how ore distribution in Nullsec and Low-Sec and High-Sec, and they changed that up, and that, I will say, was fucked up. I think this is really cool, though, because it's just adding something new to the game that PI needed to be done by more people. Jesus. Yeah, the pirate faction capitals are insane. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, Titans aren't crippled. Titans are doing what they were made to do. They're supposed to be anti-cap and anti-structure. The fact that, like, Goonswarm was able to basically park a Titan on every gate and protect people was insane. Oh no, you're fine. I swear, so it's fine. But back to it. This integrity preservation seal, it cost me about 25 to 30 million for the materials, depending on time of day. but I can sell that same amount for 45 to 50. Yeah, they removed that's not the one that people bitched about though. It was changing how the boson doomsday device worked. That's the one that made people cry. Um, so when they nerfed Titan bosons, that's the one that I heard people complain the most about. Infiltrated outpost. No, I don't feel like it. Tired invasion. No. So at some point here, I think my standings might drop because I'm going to be turning down damsel. Here we go. This is a good one. So this mission is a quick mission. It's kill 3 things, get out. It has the potential, though. One of the NPCs has the potential to drop his implant, which I think goes for about 20 million right now. Depending on which implant it is, he has like 3 different versions. Yeah, it's the hyperlink implant. Oh, I guess this is in this space. It's selling for 250 million. I don't think it goes for that much normally. Um, this is what normally drops is the custom navigation link, but there's a chance for this to drop. Um, let's actually look this up on ETH real quick. Zords. Custom navigation hyperlink right now in Jita goes for buy orders at about 70 million. Yeah, like that. I had more problems with like Titans doing that. I thought that was stupid. Um, but that's me being in the game for I've been playing since 2014, so about 7 years. Some of the really bitter old vets were really irritated about bows and nerf. Yeah, yeah. The most I ever did was I figured out a way. It took me so long to figure it out, but you could actually do a. I think they were forlorn hubs. You could do that in a single dreadnought cycle, and you could fully despawn the site. So like you were making more than carrier revenue, and it was hilarious. Granted, I figured that out right before I like left test, so I think I was making like 170 to 180 mil an hour. Ah, uh, that guy. Yeah, it was like 170 to. I was using a revelation in Sancho space. So what it was is you could clear a full forlorn. So this is a special kind of battleship. This is called a Marauder. It comes with a special module right here called a Bastion that doubles my DPS. So if we go here, so right now, simulate this. With the Bastion module active, I deal about 1300 DPS with Scorch, which is long range, lower damage. Normally it's 688. It's not great. But Conflagration, which is the short range high damage, is 2000 DPS. It also means I can't move. I have a 30-second timer that I cannot dock up. I've got a weapons timer here. I can't dock up or you. Oh, it's actually a minute timer. Um, I can't dock up. Like I can't move right now. I'm stuck in place. My defenses are improved. Like my repper will heal 3,500 instead of 1,700. The Marauders are stupidly good. It is the wrong Marauder of choice for what I am doing. Yeah, I've heard great stories of old marauders doing stuff. Uh, this is the other problem I've been running into recently is the different. So there's two pleasure gardens in the damsel mission. One has the damsel, the other has nothing. Um, and you know you have the right one when they start reinforcing. And now they're reinforcing, so now you know, it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not I have the right one. And all I care about is killing this. The damsel automatically pops into my cargo, and I'm going to kill Zor when he spawns. Yeah, they can have a higher risk of being ganked. I like the camera shake. I'll do it. I'll do it for views, for viewers. Um, um, yeah, you have a chance to being ganked. Like but that's literally anything you do in ISO. Um, you know, I can sit here. I have in the past where I've literally grabbed a catalyst and like, oh look, there's a dude in adventure mining. Killed him. Yeah, I get concorded, but whatever. Like in a game where people will sit there and they will literally just like spam their favorite kill nails, even if they died in the process. It's something you just have to know how to expect and how to protect yourself from. So, for example, the system I'm in is empty right now. If there are people in here, I would be sitting on my D scan nonstop because no matter what, they have to scan me down with combat probes. If I see core combat probes out, I know I need to turn off my Bastion module. It's a 30-second timer or 30-second cycle. So not only that, but when they warp in, they're going to warp in on that beacon, which has a bunch of hostiles around it. So it's one of those you will never be 100% safe. Um, Doing L5s in low sec and null sec, you can get pretty close to 100%. This is about as close. Like I, if I wasn't streaming this, I would be much closer to that 100% safe mark. But since I'm streaming and I don't have a delay on, you know, if someone is just browsing through Eve videos on Twitch and they find me and they want to come and hunt me, they can come and hunt me. They just have to watch for me to activate a bastion and try to jump on me as fast as they can. I try to make that harder by making safe spots, having insta-docks, insta-warps, stuff like that. Um, and it's a lot of habits that I picked up. I used to live, my first time I lived in Nullsec, I lived in Providence. Um, the other part is this is one of the reasons why I run missions where I do is it's a real low population area. So if I see a spike in one of those neighboring systems, I know something's going on. So I used to live in Providence. Null was the first area of Nullsec I lived in. And 8B TAC VLX. And, you know, I ran a Rorqual. I ran mining operations. Oh, I've seen it. I've also seen that streamer then get ganked and lose their carrier. So, um, it's definitely amusing. The willingness some people have to risk. Um, but yeah, like I kind of know the normal. Yeah, I was gonna say it's missing chart. Um, yeah, no, T1 battleships are not. the the trade-off in the risk to reward is that mission that I just did in what 3 4 minutes normally would take you 5 to 10 in a tier 1 battleship if you're like just skilling into it. All right. So since that was a Zora mission, this is the only downside of doing Zora missions is I, for some reason, don't have any mobile tractor units, so I have to go and pick up the loot real quick. Yeah, it's kind of like the only battleships that I find that I can fly at least. Like I know the Dominics can actually probably do it fairly well, but I don't have sentry drones to level 5 yet for tier 2 drones because I've never bothered. Um, but like a uh, a Macarial, I don't know if I would consider that a tier 1. They're technically a tier 1.5. Those aren't storylines. They're the career agent, like default stuff, and they have been that way since I started playing this game 8 years ago. Um, but the Praxis I actually use in that lower security system for running L4s when I want to do that. It's just that is it's a cruise missile sniping fit, so it is once again a ship that just takes longer because you have to do missile flight time. It's why I like the Paladin. It's instant damage. Um, but once again, it's bad for this space. Serpentis and Angel and I think the generic missions up here are all weaker to, I want to say, thermal kinetic is the mix. All right. Do I get a jackpot today? No, this is only 9,000 value, but you get some value sort price. I mean, basically like 1.2 million in other loot when I go to take it to Jita. Uh, I don't think Cruel ever has anything on him. Yeah, I think the Raven is actually really great for doing missions, as well. But like I said before, I have this weird love-hate relationship with missiles and meh, nothing there. And right now I'm just like not loving missions or missiles. I was flying a Bargus for a while, and the Bargus, I will admit, was actually quicker than the Paladin, but it was also a sniping torpedo fit. So like, also this thing costs like 4.1 billion. So like 1100 DPS off of those torpedoes. If I threw in Rage 1500 DPS at 47 kilometers. Yeah, this is literally a sniping torpedo fit that one of the guys that I follow came up with. Just drugs. Um, After they buffed torpedoes last year, and it does a stupid amount of damage in a short time, and it's fast. Yeah, it's only with the Bargus is where you can get that the torpedoes up that way with that range. So it's one of those things that like I flew the Bargus, but like at the end of the day, the Bargus is an ugly ship. I do kind of care about what I fly, and like I have to look at it, so it might as well look pretty, right? Um, it's why like my favorite ships are Amar ships. They are just really pretty, except for the carriers. I don't like the carriers. I think Valenti ships largely are okay. Caldari ships like feed that inner like sci-fi nerd. Um, I wish that I could get some of the skins for the Amar ships that just aren't around anymore. Yeah, the Aeon or the Park Bench, as I always heard it lovingly referred to. God, that ship was ugly. Yeah, it's not great. Um, I would love to eventually get back into null and or even low second flight carriers again, but like it's just not a high priority. Let's howdy gravy. Yeah, I would love to eventually get back into null, but it's just not a high priority. Like with the war that was going on, I just did not feel the need to be out there. And now that the war is over, we'll see what comes of it. All right, let's see. What do we got? All right, Morty Headhunter. Nope. That's a terrible mission. Gone Berserk. Also a terrible mission. Reset the Saboteurs. Another terrible mission. This is the benefit of having your faction standing up as high as level 4. It allows you to literally just decline, 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 decline. Anomic teams. Here we go. What am I killing? So it's another vengeance. So since it's anomic teams, we're gonna grab the Garmer. Oh, and this actually is taking place in the space that I have a bunch of my PI stuff. PI, by the way, if you guys don't do PI, do PI. Like, it's just passive income. Once these get kind of a little bit more underway, these three specifically, this is going to be a factory planet. So I wanted to kind of test the waters on the few designs I have set up. PI is both amazing and annoying. I actually have like it's the reason why my skill queue isn't progressing. Yeah, it's so good, man. It's just like it's needed in any battleship or larger ship. So like PI now actually has more of a need than it did in the past, which means that the prices on some things will go up, which has lends to more people doing it, which lends to more content, and thus the cycle continues. And then. Yeah, it's to my knowledge, it's anything above. Actually, I might have some cat BPCs somewhere. Oh, yeah, it's just sitting. I have a lot of capital component BPCs sitting around. Yeah, so like recursive computing modules are needed for capital shield emitters, which be like microcontrollers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, synthetic synapse, transcranial microcontrollers, guidance systems. Yeah, you need it for battleships and bigger is basically how I've been looking at it. I think I'm not sure if the T2 variants of bigger need it as well. Like, I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, it needs like construction blocks, and then it needs all of these things, which are all then done out of reactions and fuel blocks. Probably. Ugh. Alright, one jump out. Okay. Two orcas just hanging out in that system. Alright, so let's take a look at this system. So, there are people in this system. It is low sec. I just have to be mindful. Howdy, JH. How you doing? Oh, we got anything? We got a dude in a Noctis. So, I'm going to take that as people in this system feel kind of safe. If someone is sitting out here in a Noctis, that means he is going through any salvaging. Feels safe. He's on my D scan. He feels that there's no one out here scanning around for him. Alright. If the Noctis is an easier target than I am. Alright, so there is a Nemesis out here. I gotta kind of keep my eye on D scan. I actually was doing a burner mission, I think 2 or 3 days ago, and the as I was finishing up, I had a Heke and Crow land just right next to me, and I warped off, and I'd already checked all the wrecks, so I was like, hey, you guys don't get anything, bye. So now comes the long. We spin around at 20 kilometers, circling the Vengeance. These guys stay in range for the rocket launchers. We slowly just bleed them down. After the first Logi goes down, the second one becomes easier to kill. And if someone does jump in, we basically, whatever direction we're going, we go straight, and we're going at 3,600 kilometers. So we can get out pretty quick. We should be able to outrun most of what people will try to gank with. Usually it's like a Heke or an Interceptor. Interceptor might be able to catch me, but they still have to like get to me initially, and the warp time or the align time's actually pretty good once you turn the micro warp drive off. Yeah, nothing on D scan yet. Gotten through about almost 80% of his armor. Once he gets into hull, he'll bleed out. There's someone in a rookie ship. I really want to get the Nurgle for this, because, like, I know for this one, the Nurgle is slightly faster by, like, half a minute to a minute. Right now, this is actually a little slower for me, just because I'm using Guristas Nova rockets, because no one locally had Caldari, and I didn't want to make the trip to Jedha, because I had just come back from Jedha. So... and I have a feeling I'm gonna have to make the trip to Jedha here soon anyway. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm at 54,000. I just did a turn-in where I did 3 sets of the Federation Navy webs. And each one of those is roughly like 100 million profit. Like, after tag, costs, and all that. Because that's kind of the big cost on that. I want to say it's, so now the music, of course, is... How do we not, here we go. No, I am right now. I'm running a Garmer doing burner missions. I do have a Cerberus, um, although I have it set up for doing abyssals. Otherwise, for my level 4 mission running, I do a Paladin or a Praxis, and I do a cruise missile sniping Praxis fit. Um, I think I actually need to check here. Serbs are good, but I don't like them for level 4s. Okay. Come on. I swear the armor burners just like take way longer than they should. Actually, do I have my implants in? Make sure I'm in the right one. I did. Nope, I don't. I have my full snake set. Is I run a full snake set for when I'm running level 4s because I get, you know, missile flight time bonus, missile explosion radius reduction. It's the same set I use for taking a Cerberus into abyssals. Where do I have my cerebellum in a brain? I have not tried level 5s yet. It's on my list of like ways to make dumb amounts of money. So that's why I was just trying to check. I think am I just being dumb? Like I feel like I'm being dumb. Nope. I'll pull up the Cerberus fit in a second. I want to say I was doing T3s in it. Just because I didn't want to spend the additional money because I already had a 2 billion Gila with a 1.4 bill clone for it that I still ended up losing. It was one of the most painful losses that I had experienced. Where are we? Alright, this guy did not have anything of worth. Let's see. Oh, hey, there's all of my MTUs. Why they're there, I have no clue. It's not there. It's there? Here it is. Oh yeah, take a look here. I apparently stripped the fit off of it. Oh, the fit is all sitting in its heavy assault, stasis. Yeah, this looks like it was a T3 fit that I was running. I wonder why I stripped that all down. I think I was in the process of doing liquidations or something. Oh, yeah. This. Don't mind me. I am. It was between sacrileges and Cerberuses when I was living in Null, and I was running a Cerb for a short time for Dark Abyssals, but the sacrilege ended up being better, so I did sell that. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up. The fit that I did have for that. I just didn't like the Cerberus for what it was. Or for what it was doing, I should say. Let's see. I have to go based off cost here if I'm remembering right in the list. Because most of the Serbs I saw that were flown were like 2.2 billion, and I'm just not about that life. Like that, I don't know. Okay, let me pull this up. Yeah, like that's, and especially for the Abyss, where like if you get hit with a DC, you just die. So like, I learned that painful lesson with like Hawks and with Gilas. And I just got tired of it. I got tired of losing it, so I don't really run Abyssals anymore. All right, so this is, I want to say this is the fit that I was running. Yeah, because it was the Dread Grissus large shield booster, and the Republic Fleet battery, and basically it was web down your target, blap him, rinse, repeat nonstop. ADC if things got hairy. I always would ADC against the multiple Kikimora room because Kikimoras just shred everything in existence. Yeah, what was the DPS on this? Yeah, it was like 700 DPS. I don't know. It's the same problem I have with the Gila. They just feel slow, and I don't know if that's an effect of like the way the space is laid out in the Abyss, or if it's like they actually are just slow. They just feel slow, and if I'm gonna be flying slow, I'm gonna fly a battleship. I have, I have proof of my love of battleships in like my last few deaths. Yeah, like, I was doing the Proving Grounds recently, actually. Let's see. Where's the last like good battleship loss? Oh yeah, here's a. Yeah, I like heavies better. They tend to hit the Vedmax a lot better, and they don't slow you down, or they speed you up against the Abyssal Overminds. This was my Gila loss. This was a painful loss. It's 1.3 billion for the ship, and then that pod was a bit. It cost me when I bought the stuff. It was about 1.2 billion, so that was a 2.5 billion ISK loss. That was not a great time for me. Yes. There's another easy 20 million once the LP gets converted. Anomic Agent, this is Sancha. I don't have the Sancha ship. The sad thing is I don't have all the burner ships that I want. Serpentis Extravaganza, no thank you. Serpentis, give me an Angel Agent. An Angel Agent or a Angel Base. Angel Base is like the highest paying of the burners. Death. I technically could have done that one and been fine. Alright, another Anomic team. This time it's the Hawk. So being able to go through and spam out just team, it speeds up your LP game insanely fast. If I was in a 0.5 system, because ideally you do these in a 0.5 system, the payout is 11,500 LP roughly. Since I'm going against the Hawk. Navy Mjolnir. It's 11,000 instead of 8,000, so I'm losing 3,000 LP. Translates out to about 6 million potential. So the standings normally it does, but I I recently got faction standing to 5.1 on the faction. So I was able to just decline all of those missions back to back to back to back to back like that, and it only lowered me by 0.01. So if you can get your actual faction standing, now any of the corporations in that faction give me level 4 missions. So like if I look down here to Federal Intelligence, I have not done a single mission for them. But because I have my faction standing, I can do level 4 missions for them. So, and there are certain missions that you do. Um, Namely, you do Damsel, Right Hand to Zazmataz, um, Recon 1, Recon 2, uh, Cargo Collection, I think is what it's called. Cargo Delivery, because they're all missions that you can do in like under 5 minutes. And ideally, what happens is that yeah, let me post that in there. So this the advice or the warning I give on this list. This list is old as balls. I'm talking like I think this list, or I think this was 2016 was the last time this was updated. So knowing what the missions are is important as well. Um, there's that for you guys. And then spam burners. Burners, wow. I am a very intelligent person. I did not accept that mission. I do that. Hey, thanks for the follow, Ezekiel. Um, I I do that way more often than I care to admit. Burner missions are your highest. There are some people that they literally don't do anything but burner missions after they get their standings to level 5. The fastest way to get your standings to level 5 is to there's a set of tag missions. Where you basically turn in a bunch of tags. But you have to be careful when you do it because it's the Cosmos missions, I think is what they're called. And the Eve Wiki actually has that. So there's that. So it depends on the space that you're in, and it depends on what you want to do. The Macarial is what most people that blitz level 4 missions, they use a Macarial for the battleship for the non-burner missions. Because the Macarial has the really good racial bonuses. Angel, right? Yeah, Angel. So it gets the 25% bonus to warp speed acceleration. So you do that with hyperspatials, and that is most of your time when you're running missions, is going from place to place. So the Macarial fit that I will eventually be buying, because I like to burn money in this game. So this is the Macarial fit that I used to use for mission running. I've checked around; it's still one of the best fits there is. But it's running 3 hyperspatials, so you're moving at 6.52 AU, which is really good for a battleship. If you want to be a hilarious troll, you run 3 Macarials fitted like this, and you throw them into a haven out in Nullsec, and you just smart bomb the shit out of the haven. And it's like the fastest way to farm havens. Or it was at least for a while. I'm sure that has changed. Alright, give me the mission because I did not click accept. For running burner missions, there's a few different options. Yeah, Plex is. I've thrown away more Plex than I care to admit on some ships as well. Namely, like the first Gila I bought for running Abyssals. That was, yeah. But for burner missions, this Garmer fit works for the Anomic teams. It's expensive. It's 300 million, 350 million. But there is a unified burner fit. If you guys don't follow him already, guy's name is Hateless Gaming. He has like gone through and figured out. He spent a lot of time working on this. This is a unified burner fit. What that means is that if you buy what is in this shopping list, you can go through and do any of the burners from the Anomic teams up to the burner agents. It can't do Anomic bases, but it does everything else. So that way, all you have to do is you have to come in here and go, oh, I need to run the burner vengeance. Fit the ship, you're good to go. And this shopping list, which costs 1.3 billion, has all of the components for each of those fits. That's why it's called a unified fit. So this is Unified Frigate Anomics. The other way to find it is if you go to, let's see, does he have it in this one? Yeah. So if you go to Hateless Gaming, if you go to that chat channel, you will have in the MOTD, he has his YouTube guides, which are going to be way better than anything I could put out as far as like how to do it, because, well, to be honest, he has spent the time doing it. The most time that I spent like 3 months figuring out a dreadnought fit for ratting in nullsec, and like that was a pain in the ass. And I had to make like 15 different videos to show to courtmates to let them be like, okay, yeah, this works. Which was hilarious, but it was one of those things where like after I did all that, I deleted all the videos because I wasn't living in nullsec anymore. Currently he's got an Eve workbench set up where he's got all the fits that he uses. One of the things that they're doing right now is they're doing trig hunting, where they'll hunt the Triglavians in normal space with Nagas, and he's been doing fleets with those. And he makes you make pretty good money. I think he's making around, I think if you are flying a tier 1 Naga, you're making like 150 million an hour, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. Like, they're fun. The one thing you gotta watch out for is he's got a few guys in code and safety that want to kill him, so they are constantly trying to gank those fleets. To my understanding, they tried that about 2 days ago, and code and safety showed up and then instantly died on the field, because when you have, 35 Nagas all sniper fit for alpha damage, your ships don't last very long. They just kind of poof out of existence. Let me see if I've got that saved. Combat battle cruiser. Skaldari. I thought I had Naga fits. Act on it. Combat. Trig sniping. Yeah, this is the fit that they've been running for those fleets. It literally is just how fast can I lock, how fast or how good can I get my range up, so you get like stupid amount of damage. Like, so you're doing 2,300 points of alpha strike damage in a single volley at 100 kilometers away from Triglavians. The Triglavians can't catch you. Yeah, not a problem. And like I said, let me actually link his YouTube channel here. By the way, if you don't follow me on YouTube, I appreciate follows on YouTube. I think I have a link down in the description of my channel. I appreciate subscribers over there. Let me grab his channel as well. Um, yeah, and in that YouTube channel, yeah, I actually just came back about a week and a half ago myself, so I've been on about a 3 or 4 month break winning Eve. Before that, I had taken a break for almost a year and a half, so I feel it. But yeah, all Hateless is like great for high sec PvE content as far as like how to do new and interesting things. The one things he doesn't do is incursions. I would like to eventually get into incursions, but I don't think I can stream incursions. I think that's asking too much, or that would cause too many problems for a large group. I generally don't like to stream big group activities. If it's just me that dies, I can live with that. If me streaming leads to the death and loss of other people's stuff, I feel bad about it. Alright, let's see if that hawk has any goodies. Yeah, I don't think that they allow incursion streaming unless it's, I know that they have in the past, but it's very specific people that they trust. And it's like a 30-minute delay, if not longer. And like at that point, there's no point in streaming. Just record it and post the video later. Hey, thanks for the follow, Ivan. Alright, let's get that. So that time I was able to get a little bit of loot. I mean, that's 400,000 right there. I mean, all I can say is having helped gank other streamers in the past in nullsec, it is really funny to do. One of the guys, so when I was with Test, I joined Test right at about midway through the second Winter War. And there was some guy, it was a junior FC, that was playing for, he was hired by Winter Coalition to FC for them, and he was really bad. And he streamed like 2 fleets, and each time he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go into Esoterian, we're gonna fuck shit up. And then he proceeded to just whelp both of the fleets. And I'm like, okay, well, that was real cool, my dude. I think Tuskers occasionally streams their small gang fleets, which those are just fun to watch. I like Tuskers, I like Flaming Dragons. Spectre Fleet are kind of okay people. I just have not flown enough with them to really have a good sense. Don't really care for some of the Bombers Bar people, but that's mostly because I just have issues with some of their like mid-level leadership, I guess, if you want to call it that, or I did anyway about a year ago. Got into a few arguments with them about stuff. There's like only one group I really hate in this game, and that's the group that's Ferrata Victrix. They live in Stain, and I more or less don't like them because the only time that they would ever come and fight is 1 minute to downtime. They would drop a Dreadnought or a Titan. They would kill something, and then they would just never log back in. Real frustrating. Down Berserk is a bad mission. In the midst of Dead Space, also a bad mission. Cargo delivery is a good mission. Mostly because you can do it really, really quick. Um, Ideally, you use like an interceptor for this. I've used an Astero before, but a Jackdaw works just as well. Alright. And it's even in this system, so it's really quick. Check one thing about it. Yeah. Yeah, got that going. Cargo delivery is real easy. Warp into the site, pick up stuff out of the warehouse, warp out. That's it. Um, it's a super easy, like, how much LP is this? It's 1200 LP, so it's 500,000 there, and 1200 LP it ends up being, it's like 5 million by the end when everything's all said and done. Don't have to kill anything. Just in, out, a minute to make 5 million ISK. I will take missions like that all the time. Also, increases standings so that way you don't have as much drop in gains. More importantly, it gets you one mission closer to another storyline mission, which then increases your faction standings even more. The cycle repeats. You don't ever like have to worry about stuff again. Um, yeah, complete that. Yeah, look at that. Alright, the score is a bad mission. The rogue slave trader. Yeah, it's on the list of like good ones to do, but I just don't feel like it. It's kind of like where I'm at tonight. It's kind of a chill stream. I'm not doing anything to like make tons of money. But... Hey, look, another Anomic teams. This time we're going to be killing the Jaguar. So this is actually the dangerous one. This is the one where I can actually potentially lose my ship. The Jaguar has a 1% chance to hit. If you have your skills maxed, if you have the support skills maxed out, you'll survive the hit. I think if you have hull upgrades to 4 instead of 5, you just die to that one hit, but it's a 1% chance. It's Hateless Burners. Alright, so I need Mjolnir Javelin. Mjolnir Javelin. So for this, you actually orbit at a farther range. So normally when you orbit the burners, you orbit at 20,000 with the Garmer. For the Jaguar, it's 26,000. It is ideally the most lethal of the normal Anomic team burners. So my goal currently, what we're eventually building to here, I guess, is that see, like, so my corporate standings with federal administration is 2.1, but because my faction standings are at 5, I can still do the level 4s. So the kind of idea that I've been looping in my head is we get this up to here so I can do level 5s, and then go out and find some place to do level 5s. I can't even think of like who has level 5s. I'm pretty sure you don't. Actually, there's an easier way to do this. This agency tab thing is supposed to have gotten a lot better. Security agent. Nope. It's not the button I wanted to click on. Yeah, Federal Intelligence and Federation Customs. The problem is, at least from my perspective, is that I don't think... Let me check Fuzzworks here real quick. For everyone else that's running missions and stuff, if you're trying to figure out what faction to do stuff with, this site is amazing. Alright, so Federation Customs. Yeah, Federation Customs doesn't have many good stuff to buy from, or sell from, I should say. And Federal Intelligence, I think, is just as bad. Yeah, it's your best ISK to LP ratio for those two groups is 700 ISK to LP. So like it's almost better just to like go do level 4s in nullsec or in lowsec rather than do level 5s. But yeah, I don't think so. Of Gallente, because I'm doing stuff for Gallente, I'm not sure what it looks like for Amarr or for Caldari. And in theory, I have a alpha clone or an alpha alt account that is in Blood Raider space. I want to put an alpha mission runner in each of the pirate territories to run missions. I've just got to figure out how to do it efficiently. Alright, so Jaguar is annoying. Okay. Give me... Alright, what... Okay, yeah, we have 39-kilometer range on the bursts. The problem actually is targeting range, because they do like briefly leave that targeting, yeah, just like that. On the initially setting up. No pancake. I was hoping for a pancake a little bit. It does decrease standings, you're right. But my faction standings, so the rule is faction or corporate standings. So, if we take a look here, my corporate standings with federal administration is at 2.1. But since my Gallente faction is at 5, I can still run. And when I turn down a mission, I only lose 0.001 standing with Gallente Federation. As long as this stays above that 5.0 level, I can still run level 4 missions. And ideally what happens is every 16 level 4 missions you do, you get a storyline mission, which then will boost this up a considerable amount. Kind of wish I could go back further in the date time. But yeah, all that matters is either faction or corporate standings. But you have to get the corporate standings up by default to get the ability to get the faction standings up. It's a really weird mechanic. I don't like it, but it's a way to kind of abuse the system. Because right now, because my Gallente corporate standings are so high, I can do any Gallente corporation and do level 4 missions. I can go to any one of them. So like I could go do Elotech Industries. I could do any of them. Like I said, I just haven't interacted with any of them before, so that's not a huge deal. I It is taken me forever to because I did this the hard way. If you go through and you do the Cosmos missions, you can actually raise your faction standings really fast. It just costs a lot of money. Um, God, I think uh, the Cosmos missions, I think, like, if you were to go through and do it all, it ends up being like, now we do Caldari, Navy, Scourge. Um, I want to say it costs like a couple 100 million to do the Cosmos Tag missions. But it's been so long since I looked at it. It's basically you go, you buy a bunch of tags, and then you just turn them in at a NPC, and it boosts your standings. It's really, really, really fast way to do it. I ground out my faction standings. I have been slowly grinding out faction standings since I moved back to high sec a year ago, and then I take about a 3 to 4 month break every 2 to 3 months, depending on how I feel. Like, I think I'm probably gonna be now that the war isn't going on in nullsec so much. I might be able to get some actual content by going out and eating myself out there. Which those will be fun streams, by the way. When I just grab like a battleship, and I'm like, all right, going to nullsec. I'm gonna die. Bye. Um, I might try to organize like a group of us going out and doing it at some point if people are interested. It's an expensive prospect because battleships are 500 million a pop right now for fun ones. I think my Typhoon fits like 400 million, 350 million. Oh, overshot. I have good faction loot. Nope. So sometimes it's been a minute since I've had it happen. Um, but you can get faction loot dropping off the burners. I think my best was a Republic Fleet Nano module. So it ended up being like 75, 80 million. It was real good. I was super pleased with that one. I was like, oh, cool. So this burner mission was not only, the 20 million that I get in ISK and LP from turn in, it's also an additional 80 from loot. Out of curiosity, never play the Hypernet if you like money. I've had some really good wins on Hypernet, had a lot of losses. Um, I think my best win was when I was living in Nullsec. I won a Paladin for 40 million. And that was a long while ago. Ooh. What does this look like? Magic Temple. Show me. Oh. Oh. All of the other Galnet ones I've seen so far have actually looked really good. This does not look as good. Oh, that's kind of horrendous. Oh, I love that. Any of the Yule Festivals skins, I love. They are so pretty. But they were before my time, so I don't actually have. Oh, why? Why do that? They were before my time, so I don't really have any. That's an interesting design choice. Yeah, I really so the my my favorite to this day skin is for the Providence. I think it's for the Providence. Yeah, it's the Imperial Jubilee skin for the Providence. It's so pretty. Um, the Swords and Crown skin is also a very pretty like skin line. On the Revelation, it's beautiful. I think the Arc is the one that has the Yule skin of. I used to have an Arc long time ago. Um, Back when I first moved to Nullsec, the corp I was with needed someone that was a jump freighter pilot, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, look at that. Um, and so I was like, I was already skilling into fly Oracle, so I had a bunch of the jump skills already going in my skill queue. So I added up what I needed to fly an arc. And then like one of the higher ups in the alliance, because there had been a leadership change in the alliance, and he always watched our Discord for some reason, and he was like, "Oh, uh, don't buy jump freighter. Jump freighters are useless." And I'm like, "What?" Damsel. This is a good one. So he was like, "Yeah, don't ever buy a jump freighter. They're useless." So I was like, "Okay." So I talked to our corp CEO at the time, and he was like, "Don't listen to him. We need a jump freighter for living in Null." Da 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 da. Um, and then I also had a Rorqual, and I was mining, and but in our Discord at the time, I was having a discussion. I had sat and mathed it all out. I had been a mining director in HiSec for a long while, uh, and I had mathed out like the optimal fits for coveters, what you needed with what boosts, what implants were better with what situations. And so I was discussing all that, and he would pop in and be like, "You need to sell your Oracle. That's a useless ship to have. We're not going to have any use for that." And I'm sitting there going, "Motherfucker, I just made 120 million in like hour and a half with a few guys. Like, the hell are you smoking? Of course that's useful." And it got to a point where he basically like started like messaging me in game being like, "Hey, you need to sell this. You're doing this." And I talked to our core CEO. I was like, "You need to talk to this guy because he's getting on my nerves, and I'm gonna tell him to fuck off." And that's gonna look real bad if a line member is telling a leadership in the alliance that, like, talk to him. Like, when we joined this group, when we joined, because I was with the Corp before they joined the Alliance, and then we joined the Alliance. When we joined the Alliance, part of why we were joining is because it was an industrial group and we wanted to live out in Null. And now they don't want to live in Null anymore now that they are in charge, because it's basically a leadership change, like I said. And we'd already like halfway moved to Null. Like my corp and one other corp had moved to Null. So like we'd already moved to Null, and it was a very frustrating, like, to have those conversations. The problem was is the CEO of the corp that I was part of had a bit of a he was it was two CEOs. All right, well that's not the right one. And one of them had a bit of a drinking problem, and he got real drunk and started making real life threats against the guy. So our corp got kicked out of the alliance, which was fine by me. Since we were living in Null, we were actually crashing on another group's couch, more or less. And I talked to them because we had lost access, and they're like, "Well, we can't give just your corp access without figuring out what the hell's going on," because it happened basically overnight. Um, and so they were like, "Yeah, just don't undock your ship. We'll figure it out." And I basically left the corp. They gave me access, and I found another group to live with in Providence. And then we eventually got. All right. We eventually got invited to join Test. We actually got invited to join like two different groups. One was a wormhole group though, and not very many people were comfortable with living in a wormhole. So we went and lived in. We went and joined Test, and well, I say but by the end of it, only like two of us were ever active. We left the corp that we were in, and we joined another corp in Test that took us in, and super cool group. I still poke them every now and then and see how they're doing. The dissolution of CVA left Providence a continual wasteland of hilarity. I actually killed one of the guys that was in CVA, who was one of their FCs. He got real upset about it because apparently his headset died. I'm like flying around a Hecate, and all of a sudden I just see a single Pontifex flying there. I'm not sure. I think it's still Villy and PGL. At the same time, I could not tell you. They're I think I've heard your name, but I don't think I've run into you. But yeah, with with the war being over, so the way that Test was structured, um, so Villy and PGL were both like leaders. They were I can believe it. Providence is open grounds after CVA crumbled. Sapporo Jones is the technical alliance leader. Um, but really he's the Diplo. He's the head Diplo. Um, he is Sapporo Jones is hilarious. Um, there's a lot of running jokes about him. But the actual like military leadership is supposed to be Villy and Pro God Legend, and I don't know if what's happening now that the war is over with them, if they're kind of stepping back because that was a weird thing. So I have a love-hate relationship with the Purple Helmeted Warriors. When I first moved into Providence, I got hot dropped on by like 30 of them. They blew up my Orca, uh, fellow uh, a fellow corp member's Orca, and like three other dudes. It was real frustrating, but at the same time, it was glorious. Um, yeah, it was a long time ago when that happened. Them and Rogue Consortium were my main people that I had to watch out for back then. Back when I was with Test, so I joined Test at midway near the end of the second Winter War. Winter War ends, and Villy and PGL basically step back from leadership, and they weren't seen as much. Uh, oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, I didn't turn in the mission. So Villy and PGL kind of step back. So I think their technical role is they are the military leadership. So during a wartime, they run it. Otherwise, Sapporo Jones delegates out the other duties. There's one gal named Ross who is amazing. She is known as Space Mom, and she kind of is in charge of like, hey, I need help mining or doing industry. She knows everything about it. She also has a Rorqual that she has 99 kill marks on because it's a battle Rorqual. And she just baits people into like try to gank her. Um, gotta have it in my cargo bay. Okay. Now that's going to despawn all of the NPCs at that site. I can go do that. Test is now in Outer Passage, which I'm not real, like, I was thinking about, like, poking my old corp, being like, hey, I'm back from my extended time away. But if they're living in Outer Passage, right? Like, I don't know how we go from Esoteria into Delve, owning most of Delve and Quirius, and now they're over here. Oh, but Winter Coalition is up here in Branch, Tenal, and Venal. And, like, Test and Winter Coalition don't get along. So I just, ugh. That's 134,000. That's another 8,000. I have so many of those, I don't need those anymore. I remove that. Yeah, I've never lost to my Rorqual. My Rorqual never got ganked. So I bought it. I did buy it when it was, 12 billion for a Rourke. I don't know what they're sitting at now. I know that they dropped quite a bit after they nerfed excavators. That was a lot of flex that I'll never get back. But I mean, two carriers and a dreadnought a week for like a month and a half. I think I made back the cost. Jesus Christ, what? Why though? Actually, kind of curious now. This I'm trying to find. It was a Komodo, wasn't it? So when during the Second Winter War, yeah, we lost a Komodo. Um, my God, this was a travesty of a loss. Um, it was the dude accepted a fleet invite, and he got warped off the goddamn station. And I'm just like so mad about that. I don't know. Maybe it's my whole like, oh, I'm aware, but like it's not the fact that it's 300 billion, it's the fact that it's a Komodo, one of the rarest like ships in the game other than AT ships. Like, I feel like you would have more caution if you're flying a ship that is that valuable. Like, it's a pirate Titan. Just it's so frustrating. I think this is, yeah, Snuffed got Fraternity a short while after that. Um, God, Snuffed is a group that I've thought about like poking every now and then. All right, what are we killing here? All right, this is another Jaguar. I mean, that's the majority of the game worries about 300 billion. When you're the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, yeah, 300 billion is nothing. But for, like, I run one account these days. I was running 4 accounts when I lived in Null. And that was, God. I was able to plex each account and still had money left over to buy, like, stupid shit. So, now, though, that I live in, like, I'm in high sec, I'm running just the one account. How much? So I have been officially back in Eve for, uh, what's today? The 8th? So I've been back for 9 days. 3 of those days I didn't even play, and I'm up to 4.5 billion made so far. I spent 4.1 because, yeah. Um, but yeah, if I had the ability to just continually throw stuff away, I would. And I did that for a while, where I was just taking battleships and using a filament to go out to nullsec and fucking around. There was definitely a time when, I would worry about, oh man, I'm going to lose this 300 mil ship, and that time is long gone. Now I'm just like, oh, cool. All right, well, I get to go make little less ist for a while. All right. So I'm gonna wrap up this mission, and then we're gonna call it for a night. Um, it's about 2 a.m. in the morning for me, so I'm gonna be going to bed here shortly. But more importantly, I want to thank everyone for coming and watching. If anyone does have questions while I'm still doing this, feel free to ask. I love pointing people in the right direction and trying to help as much as I can. I do appreciate follows. I appreciate subscription or subscribers on YouTube. Um, and I will hopefully be doing some giveaways. End of the week is kind of the plan. It just kind of depends on work schedule. We're going to mandatory overtime. So much fun. So it kind of depends on if my boss has me start doing that this week or in the next week. Ideally, he doesn't start till next week. I can then go ahead and do some random giveaway this week or this weekend. I also play League of Legends. I play Rust and a bunch of other games if anyone wants to watch anything like that. Like I said, if you hit the follow, I'll always put in my announcements about what I'm playing for the night. No. No. See, I like to live in reality. I actually had a friend that he did quit his job because he wanted to become a pro streamer. And he only had 4 followers, so I have 120. And he nearly went up homeless because he just would not give up on trying to be a good streamer. He had a lot of other problems too. Namely, he would stream with his girlfriend and get upset when I didn't load Javelin. And he'd get upset when she wouldn't stream with him, because that's when he always got the most views, when it was him and his girlfriend. And I'm not about that life. Like, I like my job. I stream because it's fun for me to stream. I enjoy when people see, oh, you're running level 4 missions. What ship do you suggest? What missions do you suggest? How do you do this? I like helping people. And then I like showing off throwing ships away. Being able to eat myself into nullsec with battleships and stuff like that is lots of fun. If people will willingly fight. Like, that was the big problem I had during the war, like, or in this last war 3 months ago before I took my most recent break, is I would filament out to nullsec, and everyone would assume I'm just bait for like a hot drop or something like that to try to get a response, so no one would come out and play and kill me because I'm not good at PvP. I am garbage at PvP, but it's fun. So hopefully we can kill down these bursts. Um, and then we'll head back. Sometimes like I murder the bursts really quick, and sometimes I just like hang on by this sliver of shield armor and structure forever. There we go. Come on. Thank you. Now this one should die pretty quick. Oh, did my music decide to finally... Yeah, music finally decided to be done. Well, that's nice now. So we're gonna go... Um... I'm just gonna do this to end. And end on some more chill music. Alright, Caldari Navy Scourge. Light this guy up. So, what I need to figure out is what to give away here this next weekend. What I used to do was give away exploration ships, because I used to do a lot more exploration. But times have changed, so I might like build a level 3 missile or mission running ship for people that are like just getting into mission running, and give away a few of those or something like that. Maybe I'll give away a level 4 Praxis ship. Excuse me. Maybe if I can get some modules as the week goes dropping from these guys, or a good implant, I can do those. I do have like a handful of implants that I can probably throw in. But yeah, I think this next weekend, as long as I don't have to work overtime, I will do a giveaway of some sort. Make a day of it. 174. Alright. Set the destination. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Go, Gurmer, go. Oh, while we're on the way, we'll take a quick look at PI. How much? So I started the. This is technically P3 or P2 products, is what these are. So I started this today, so that's a million, almost a million, about 400,000. 400,000. I started these about 12 hours ago, so 2 million a day in that, but it's all gonna get converted once I get a stockpile built up into a cryoprotectant solution. And then rocket fuel, I always build rocket fuel. How much is that? Actually, it's 460 units. Alright. So we'll turn this in, and then I'll do a quick last count of what we made in the brief time since we started doing this. We've been going for about an hour and a half, because assume half hour for, oh shit, I forgot to click on the mission and all that kind of stuff. Alright, let's take a look. Transaction list. 850, 830, 8, 7. Alright, so we started doing these at 7:40 Eve time, and we were at 6:57, and we're at 6:85. So we made 35 million in bounties and rewards so far, which is meh. It's not great, but we made almost 60,000 LP in that time at 1.7. That's current exchange rate that I can get on that. Did about 50,000 LP. So that was about $110 million an hour. 110 mil an hour. It's not bad if I were to like keep going through and doing this. If I was being a bit more like not so like zonked out from work, because I worked and then I came into this, I would probably be closer to that 150, maybe even the fabled 200 million an hour mark. I think that's really hard to hit with the Paladin though, so not at least in this space. So well, once again, guys, I want to thanks everyone for watching. Hit that follow button. You'll get announcements of when I'm going to be streaming and what I'm going to be streaming. So you see the announcement, oh, I'm streaming, but I'm playing League of Legends, and you don't want to watch me play League of Legends, then you don't have to watch me that night. But do follow me for announcements of when I'm going to be doing the giveaways, either this weekend or in the next coming week. Take care, guys. Hope to see y'all later. Fly safe or fly dangerous, if that's kind of your thing.